Okay, the reason why I'm here is to sing a happiness song with you, like the other day. I'm sure many of you are here, and maybe with little time that I'm given, talking about happiness, what we do in Bhutan will take hours together. So I'll try to kind of take you through a journey where I believe that happiness has 3 pillars and 9 domains. So I'll try to walk you through those domains to reflect to you how we could practice happiness in ourselves. Shall we begin with the song, happiness song? Wonderful. So let's start. I'm sure you know the lyrics now. It's happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries, nowhere to go, nothing to do, and I'm not in a hurry. The second stanza is happiness is here and now. I have dropped all my worries, somewhere to go, something to do, but I'm not in a hurry. So if you hold your hands with friends near you all together, and then swing with the song, it will be wonderful. Shall we do that? Wonderful. So let's begin. Can you all hold hands together? Yeah, and swing with the song. If you stand up, of course, it's much more better. Okay, wonderful. So shall we begin with the song now? 3, 2, 1, go. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries, nowhere to go, nothing to do, and I'm not in a hurry. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries, somewhere to go, something to do, but I'm not in a hurry. One more time. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries, nowhere to go, nothing to do, and I'm not in a hurry. Happiness here and now. I have dropped my worries, somewhere to go, something to do, but I'm not in a hurry. Thank you. Would you like to sing one last? Thank you. Often we tend to forget ourselves and live in the past or in the future, and that is the point where, we suffer from ourselves. What I'm going to talk in the next 10 minutes would be my kind of formula how to live happily. I consider there are 3 pillars in life. One is called the wisdom, the second one is called morale, and the third one is called concentration. Under wisdom, there are two domains. One is called the right thoughts. Now, what do we mean by right thoughts? I'll give you examples. Buddha, 2,600 years ago, said that when you are able to control your mind and your thoughts, it will help you better than your parents can do for you, because it will never let you down. But thoughts, we talk about all positive thoughts that must arise in us. So, you see, we say that thoughts change into words, words change into action, action changes into character, and character takes you to the destiny. So therefore, we need to think always good. And I believe so much that when your thoughts generate, you create an energy. Like science does prove that where there is electricity, there can be magnet. Where there can be magnet, there can be electricity. So when you think deeply, you create a lot of energy in your mind, in your head, and then you create the magnetic field. So when you think something, the central part of the magnet rays goes into the space. It does not connect back to itself. So thoughts, when they arise in us, they also leave through this magnet field into Akasha, somewhere up there. And every one of us have a pot. Now imagine when a pot is filled with good or bad, it needs to overflow. So when it's filled with good things, it overflows and comes back to you. Isn't it? Logical, right? So we see that for every one wrong thought, you'll have to reverse that 5 days, constantly, every moment that you remember to do good. So if you took one bad thought against a fellow friend or anybody, then that actually takes you 5 days to recorrect your thoughts so that you can again fill that pot with that one thought takes you down so much. So your pot, maybe it's almost filled with good thoughts. Now one bad thought makes it half. To fill that again, you need to work very hard. So that's the kind of thoughts that we refer to. The second, under the wisdom, is right understanding. Now when you say right understanding, what do we understand? Number one, there are 3 areas of right understanding. One is called the right relationship. The second one is called the right physical needs. And the third one is changing our consciousness from animal consciousness to human consciousness. So under right understanding, there are 3 areas. The first one is the right relationship. So when what do you understand by relationship? Now if you look into, even subjectively, we think that relationship is all that matters, and it's true. Now objectively, it's also proven by Harvard on a study of 75 years. The 4th director on this research line in March last year gave us these results, saying that if one thing had to be considered in human life for happiness, it is relationship. It's always relationship. It's relationship with your family, with your kin-keith, with your interdependence, And then the second one is the right physical needs. Now, for life and living, what are the things we need? Do you need an iPhone or a computer or a television or a big car? We don't need any of this. For living, to keep this body alive so that our soul or mind or consciousness, whatever you name, remains in this body, you need to nourish this body with the right kind of food. You need to have few changes of clothes that take you from one season to another, and you need to have roof over your head. What more do you need for life and living? So when we are able to understand this concept of our needs, then we are much more mindful, like what the Japanese have started on the minimalist approach, like few clothes, few things are enough for life and living. This doesn't change our mind, who we are, what we are. The looks, the outfit does not really change you. And that is one problem where we face because we don't live ourselves. I'll give you an example. If you had to go for a party, you quickly think, what is the kind of dresses my friends are going to wear? Should I not wear better than them? Or at least outstanding so that I am known there? Who are you living in this case? You're competing, your mind is competing. You want to be better than somebody. So there are 3 things that kills us, our initiative: complaining, competing, and, would you know the other word? Comparing. So 3 C's actually kill all our initiatives in life for doing better. Then the third one is shifting ourselves from the understanding that we generally know, from the animal consciousness to human consciousness. Now, you see, animals also have life. I'll come to that a little later. But if you look into their consciousness, they also want to be happy. But do they have a voice to tell that they want to be happy. No. So we need to be beyond that, which means we also need to be in the interdependence to understand every aspect of the sentient beings that we live with and become human beings. If we're intelligent enough, we should feel that, we are better than all of this. And when you say we are better than this, that means we are in service of them because they are worst. So we need to serve them to bring up. So that's the shift we talk about, to have true happiness, to have true relationship, not cheating your wives or husbands or whatever, Sorry for that. But that's the right relationship, That's the right kind of understanding from animal consciousness to human consciousness. Now that's the wisdom, the two parts of wisdom. Then the second one is the moral, where we have the right action, right speech, and right livelihood. Now when you talk about right speech, how would we want somebody to address us? What makes us happy when somebody tells us or addresses us with? That's how we need to also live, to learn to address others. Actually, listening is very, very difficult. And that's why if you are in a classroom, 40 minutes of class, you can only take as maximum as 20% of what the person speaks. You'll have to be there 5 more times to actually pick up. If you're very intelligent, you only carry 20%. What I would like to say is there are 4 kinds of listening. And listening, when you're able to listen, then you're able to speak. The first listening is called downloading. It's I in myself, which means, I give you an example. It happens between okay, sorry. I think I'm over with the time. Should I continue? Okay. Thank you. So it's called downloading. It happens between wife and husband. When a husband starts to speak, the wife thinks, I know what he's going to speak. So she starts to download from herself, her own understanding. It's either way, it's either way. Or you hear a political debate that's happening, oh, that politician is going to talk this and that. So you already have pre-decided in your mind. So that's called downloading. It's called I in myself. So I only listen to my thoughts and my ideas. And that's the problem where we have conflicts between wife, husbands, with friends, because you are not able to listen. You're not able to clear your mind and then open everything. So that's called I in myself, or it's called downloading. The second listening is called factual listening. Now the wife comes home and tells her husband, oh, darling, I've now been promoted and I earn, $500 more. The husband quickly listens to that because there's factual things coming into him. And then he might, sorry for this, but just making a joke, he might think, oh, now I can tell my wife and spend a little more, with my girlfriends and so forth. And tell her all the stories how, where the money went. So the planning already begins in the mind, you see. And then you have the third kind of listening. And this listening is called I in it. Okay, it's a factual listening. So I go with the facts, the scientific data and information. The third kind of listening is called empathic listening, I in you. So I open up everything and I feel exactly the way you are, trying to relate to me. So I actually become a part of you. That's called empathic listening, and it's called I in you. Then the fourth kind of listening is called regenerative listening, I in now. So when you say I in now, you're listening to the factual and you become very empathic so that you have an opportunity to decide what you're going to do every moment, every now and then in your life and living. So this is the right speech arises from your power to be able to listen to others, to understand others, then only you are able to have that space between your reaction and the stimuli and the reaction. Okay? So that space is so very important to create for ourselves. Mind is so fast. It's here now, next moment is anywhere. And if we are in control of this mind, we are always in control of our own existence. Okay, the second under the moral is right livelihood. Now, I can tell you so many stories about right livelihood, but let me just tell you, today we use 1.5 times the biocapacity of our planet because of our greed. North America and Europe, what they waste in 1 year is enough to actually feed the entire global population for 3 years. That's the waste we talk about.